Today on New England Living, we're heading out on the farm to check out some of the region's most secluded and unique destinations, including a one-of-its-kind aqua farm nestled within the North Shore's famed Great Marsh, and a South Shore farm boasting one of the most beautiful collections of flowers in all of New England. Plus, from cacao farms in Central America to an historic farm in Sudbury, we'll meet a husband and wife team making single-origin craft chocolate right in their own backyard. It all starts right now on New England Living. New England is full of adventure.
Up and away.
You just did your first takeoff.
You're part of my dream day right now. Join me as we discover the people and places that make us so unique.
This is it. You can't find it anywhere else in North America.
I mean, does it get any better than this? Love the place you call home with New England Living. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. I'm your host, Rachel Holt. When it comes to sustainable seafood, one company is pioneering the oyster industry on the North Shore. Up next, our own Michaela Johnson makes her way to Rowley, Mass. to shine a light on the Great Marsh Shellfish Company with owner and founder Brendan Doyle.
We knew we were coming out to the Great Marsh. We are literally in the Great Marsh.
Yep.
Talk about your setup here, the location. Very minimalistic and down to earth.
Oh yeah, oyster farming is very basic. We just do the simple things. If you can keep them alive and keep them in your possession, you can be a successful oyster farmer.
This place, this location, perfect for what you're doing in terms of harvesting oysters. But it also has such a charm to it. Can you tell us about your properties and where you actually are?
My camp was built in 1902. It was originally a duck hunting camp. Our goal is to transform part of this camp into an actual hatchery where we can raise millions of shellfish of different types and then put those back into the ecosystem. There's no better way to maintain and improve this wild ecosystem than to add more shellfish to it. One adult oyster can filter 50 gallons of seawater a day, and that removes nitrogen, all sorts of things that we as humans use in fertilizers and other things into the environment. They will clean that up for us.
How does one create an oyster farm? What do you need to get it up and running?
Location.
Yeah.
What has turned out to be one of the most productive, amazing oyster farm locations I could have ever possibly dreamed of. As a gamble getting into it, I didn't know it was going to be this productive, but now, 4 years in, it's just been amazing. This is the first time in over 200 years that oysters have been commercially available from the Great Marsh.
And helping Brendan grow this unique aquaculture farm is business manager and shellfish farmer Lindsay Wishart.
Boots in the marsh, our gloves are on. Lindsay, we are ready to go. Tell us about what is established here and where you hope it goes in the future.
Brendan started the farm back in 2021 with his first crop planting of 50,000 oysters. We have increased our capacity year after year since then, with this growing season being our biggest harvest that we're working with and our biggest seed planting that we've done thus far.
Before we can enjoy the oysters on their plate, they have to get there. What is the process like?
Yeah, so we purchase seed. It gets overnight shipped to us. We plant that seed out in our nursery, and as the seed grows, it graduates into larger and larger mesh-sized bags, eventually working its way into our floating cages.
Will you show us what's inside some of the cages?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our unique nursery setup. Because we are off-grid out here in the middle of the Great Marsh, we don't have access to a dock, we don't have electricity. So we have developed this rack and tube system, and as the tide comes up, the tubes hang in the water and gently sway. Oysters want to clump. They want to stick to something.
Okay.
And so if you don't shake them and move them, they'll stick to each other. They take a lot of handling. The tide does some of that work for us, but we have to do it too.
We'll do the rest of the work
Yeah, you
right
want
now.
to snap one off?
Oh, sure.
So, yeah, you just unhook it, give it a little twist.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then we'll take it right here into the water.
Okay.
just deep enough so you can submerge it, and then give it a good shake. That is sort of giving them a little massage, a little baby massage, and it's cleaning them. And I'll show you what a baby oyster looks like.
What?
So there's about 10,000 baby oysters in this tube.
When do they become, I guess, recognizable?
They grow a millimeter a week easily. They're up into 1.5 inch size within 2 months.
It looks like grains.
Yeah. So the ones that we were looking at here, look at the size of that.
Wow.
So these are our 2022 crop. These were planted at the very same time.
Gosh.
So some of them, they just refuse to grow.
They're taking their time. They're
They
going to be
are.
extra delicious
They
once
are.
they're ready.
So do you want to try one of these early first crop of our farm oysters?
Absolutely.
So do you know you have to chew your oyster before swallowing it? You can't just swallow it.
I think I've been doing it wrong my entire life.
You got to give it a couple chews.
Okay.
Otherwise you're going to have pearls in your belly. You'll never know it.
You gonna have one with me?
Sure. So this is fresh out of the water. Cheers.
Cheers. So that is delicious. I can kind of taste the brine and so fresh. Is it like a grassy? I feel,
Yeah.
I mean, I know we plucked them right out of the water, but it tastes that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're getting the salt marsh and the, you know, that beautiful ocean taste mixed with the grassiness of the nutrients that are running through the estuary.
Perfect combination.
Yeah.
It feels as though we've stepped back in time, in a sense. There's no electricity. There's really not much here except you guys.
Yeah. I mean, once we leave the dock in the morning, we are off the grid. So this 100-plus-year-old duck hunting and fishing camp is sort of our home base. We really can do our whole operation from planting seed to tumbling the oysters, harvesting them, all off-grid. We use batteries and human power to do everything it takes to do our ocean farming here. We really are out here in this pristine location, growing oysters in the most natural setting you possibly could imagine.
Coming up after the break, we're visiting a flower farm on the South Shore bursting with color. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, it's farming you have to see to believe. Brianna Pitts joins us in Norwell to explore the beauty and history of Cross Street Flower Farm with founder Nikki Bartley.
So Nikki, we're here at the historic Jacobs Farm. It's such a beautiful place in Norwell to drive by and see the pop of colors from your flower fields. Tell me a little bit more about this property.
This is a 300-year-old property. It's the crown jewel of Norwell because it's so beautiful, the iconic stone walls. For decades, it was just hayed, and the community never had access to it. And then I started Cross Street Flower Farm and got the license to farm, and now the community is here enjoying the property. Right now, we have 7 acres. There's 3 fields here that are surrounded by stone walls. And then we have the 2 historic barns, one of which we turned into our barn shop. About 90% of what you see here, we actually start on the farm in our greenhouses. And those are things like zinnias, sunflowers, cosmos, celosia, globe amaranth, and so many other things. We have 4,000 peonies planted. There's a lot here. We don't just grow one crop like tulips or just dahlias, but we're actually growing and selling crops from April until October.
Flowers for every season.
Exactly.
We're in the middle of how many dahlias?
This is 30,000 dahlias. So right now this field is 2 acres. We have another acre of dahlias in the third field. In 2015, when I first started growing cut flowers at my house, I grew 3 dahlias that year.
3?
3. And I fell in love with them. The next year I grew 300 at my house. And then when we got the license to farm here, I went to 3,000, and now we're at 30,000.
30,000. I see so many cool varieties, and the names of all of them are really fun too.
Yes. So the ones that we're looking at here, this is called Jitterbug. This is a really cute pink one, which looks great in bouquets. And then we're coming up on Jowie Winnie, which is one of my personal favorites. You can't not mention Cafe au Lait, which is the true queen of all the dahlias, and that's a dinner plate. And all the brides love that for their bridal bouquet.
One of the coolest things I think that you do here at the farm is you pick. I feel like there is something magical about you pick. Do people tell you that?
Yes, yes, everyone loves to come here. My vision was to make it a community farm. One of the first things I did was make the aisles wide so that people would be able to walk down them. Because I know growing flowers how magical and healing they are, and I wanted to be able to share that with the community, to have them come out here and feel the energy that flowers give off. And when people are able to come out here, no one ever leaves the flower farm with a frown. You know, everyone's happy with their armload of flowers.
With 30,000 varieties to choose from, I don't think I would be good at pick your own bouquet. I can't make a decision, everything is so beautiful.
Well, the good news is that that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna take you out, let you cut your own stems, and then teach you how to put a bouquet together.
Oh, let's
How
do
does
it.
that sound?
Sounds perfect.
Yay.
And with that, Nikki and I grabbed our buckets and headed out to the dahlia fields to pick the perfect flowers for our creation, paying close attention to details like shape, size, length, color, and bloom. And after a few helpful pointers and an armful of gorgeous flowers, we made our way back towards the barn to build the ultimate bouquet. So Nikki, we have picked all of our beautiful flowers.
Yes, we have.
Ready to make our bouquet. Where do we start?
What you want to do is pick your focal flowers first, which, like we said, the star of the show are the dahlias. And the Cafe au Lait that you found in the field, I would start with that one.
Should I make these nice and tall like that?
So you want all the heads to be roughly at the same level.
Okay.
Okay. And then you're going to start layering in other flower types too, so we get some texture. Why don't you pick celosia next, which has a really nice texture.
Yeah, this is like feathery.
Yeah, this is terracotta celosia, which is just so gorgeous, that color.
What's the
So again,
placement?
I would do 3s, 3 to 5s. Either 1, 3, or 5 is what we try to do when we're building a bouquet of any one element. So I would go for 3 celosia.
Okay.
And then if I were you, I would do the cosmos next, because this will add like a nice airy, branchy, like willowy, wispy vibe.
These
to
are
your bouquet.
romantic.
Very.
I see you're grabbing some
Yes,
greenery,
okay,
I'm
so
gonna grab some.
eucalyptus, which we grow.
Yes.
Silver dollar, smells so good. Yeah, dries great, so we sell a lot of this in the fall. And then that's like really the last step in building any bouquet, is you put like the foliage or the greenery around, and it gives it some
I didn't
air
know
and
that.
movement. Yeah. So you're gonna get your rubber band, we're gonna wrap it with a rubber band. So I'm gonna teach you the flower farmer trick. So you turn it upside down, and then you're gonna find a big sturdy stem, and you're gonna put the rubber band around one, and then you're gonna wrap around 2 or 3 times till it's nice and tight, and then you find another stem and put it over.
Oh, wow. I did not know this trick. Okay.
There you go.
I love the way our bouquets turned out. They look so beautiful. There is one more final step, right?
Yes. So now we're gonna put it in a sleeve so that you take it home and it stays safe and protected.
Let's do it. Okay, you got yours?
Yeah.
Okay, look at that.
Well done.
Bouquet, all from Cross Street Flower Farm, everything grown here. It is so cool to be able to build this and put this together, and from the field all the way to the finished product.
Well, thank you for coming. And you're hired.
Coming up right after the break, from bean to barn, We're visiting the grounds of a centuries-old farm, now producing some of the world's best chocolate. When New England Living returns after this. Welcome back to New England Living. We're heading to Sudbury, Mass. to meet the makers of one of the country's most ethically sourced and award-winning dark chocolate, Tom and Monica Rogan, founders of Good Now Farms Chocolate. We are here at your gorgeous property in Massachusetts, and the aroma of chocolate is in the air. This is kind of a dream here. How did Good Now Farms Chocolate get its start?
Many years ago, we decided after we couldn't find chocolate that we enjoyed eating, that we were going to make it ourselves. So we worked for a long time in developing the profiles of the bean types we wanted to work with because we make single origin chocolate. And then we found this beautiful farm in Sudbury, historic Good Now Farm, and we decided to name our company Good Now Farms Chocolate because we wanted to honor the farmers that farm the cacao beans and then also the farm at which we produce our chocolate.
Where are you sourcing your cacao beans from? Because you're very hands-on in this process and there's a lot of travel involved too.
We source our beans primarily from Latin America, so South America, Central America, and there's a few reasons for that. One is that we want to personally visit all of our farmers. It's really important to know where cacao comes from. There's a lot of issues with the cacao supply chain, so we can know exactly where it's coming from and the labor practices, but also because cacao genetically started in South America. So there's a lot more diversity of cacao beans and flavors in this region. So we really love the creativity of making craft chocolate. We can draw out specific flavors, so it's really fun for us to go and find interesting beans with interesting flavors. But every farmer is different. Most small farmers who are growing cacao have really small plots of land. So it isn't just working with one farmer, but working with a group of farmers.
How are you going about selecting the different cacao beans and knowing that you can turn this into high quality chocolate?
Well, first off, it's not just the beans. Cacao is a fruit. It actually grows on a tree, and it's a melon-shaped pod that grows on the base trunk of a tree. And within that pod, you have, I don't know, anywhere between 30 to 65 beans that are covered in this white, gooey fruit.
Not what you think of when you picture chocolate.
No, but this is the primary ingredient for chocolate. You must have cacao in order to create chocolate. So what we do when we go down is we actually visit with farmers, and then we go out in the field and we walk with them and we visit the trees. They, cut fruit down, we taste the fruit pulp, we taste the beans, and we see what flavors we're tasting. So the farmers, they're experts in the field in growing and harvesting, but they also have a lot of skill to add with fermentation and drying because we want the best quality, best flavor beans that we can get. And remember, the only two ingredients you need to make chocolate are cacao beans and a sweetener like sugar. That's it.
And love.
The most important ingredient, one might say. So after the selection process, you found your beans, your ingredients that you're working with. What's the next step in the process when you're back here?
So we start with the beans. Those beans that we took so long to develop and work with at origin, we bring them up here and we store them in these barrels, and we'll come down, and depending on what bar we're gonna make, we'll choose the beans we're working with, and then the first step is sorting. That's when you go through the beans by hand and you remove any beans that are broken or cracked or too small to roast properly, because we're looking again for the best flavor possible. And then after those beans are sorted, they're taken into our chocolate kitchen, and the first step is we roast the beans. And then once those are cool, the next step is removing the husks. We have a winnowing machine. We put the beans in the top, and then the beans are crushed. And because the nibs are heavier, they fall down into a bucket, and then we have a vacuum attached to that, and it sucks the shells out. Once we have the nibs, that's the meat of the bean, we take those nibs and we put them into our stone grinders. And then those nibs get crushed, and then over time they liquefy, and that liquid is called cacao liquor. And that's what we add sugar to make the chocolate. And we also do one additional step. We add our own freshly pressed cocoa butter. You don't have to add cocoa butter to chocolate because it's naturally in there. We like adding it because it enhances the flavor and it also makes it really smooth to your mouth. We'll add the sugar, and then we'll let those grinders run between 5 and 6 days straight, 24 hours a day. And we pour them into pans, and then we take those pans and we put them through a sifter. And then the finished sifted chocolate goes into a machine called a tempering machine. And then the liquid chocolate gets deposited into our molds. And then from there, we take the molds and we shake them so that it's nice and even and there's no air bubbles. And we put them into our blast chiller. And we take the bars out of the chiller when they're done and we demold them, and then we have finished chocolate bars.
So after we're done making the chocolate bars, we hand wrap them. We take the bars, we put them in bioplastic compostable sleeves, and then we wrap them in a paper wrapper that protects them. And then we get ready to ship them. So they go to retailers in New England, around the country, and different stores partner with us to sell our chocolate. And we also do individual sales from our website. So our chocolate bars are enjoyed here in Massachusetts as well as worldwide.
And after all of that, the step that I'm most interested in the process is the tasting process.
That's definitely the best part of the chocolate making.
Absolutely.
And with that, we moved up to the kitchen to sample some of that award-winning Goodnow Farms chocolate. And now we've made our way upstairs, and this is hard to believe, but this doesn't come close to all of the chocolate that you offer, but what do we have here?
Yes, well, welcome. What we have is our Pure Dark signature line bars. The ingredients for these are only cacao beans and sugar and our freshly pressed cocoa butter from that same bean type. And I have 2 flavor bars here that I really wanted to share with you.
Let's try the New England type bar first.
Okay, so what I have right here is our dark chocolate assortibité with maple. Instead of using organic cane sugar to make it, we use maple sugar. You take the bar out and you then break it.
That sound.
Did you hear the snap?
Awesome, yes.
Good.
Good
okay.
snap.
All right, well here you go. So take your piece and then give it a smell. What do you smell?
I'm smelling maple.
Absolutely.
It's reminding me of kind of a breakfast scent.
Yeah. Okay, so put it in your mouth, give it a chomp, and see what you taste.
Really pure maple taste coming in.
Absolutely.
And it's not too sweet,
No.
but it's not bitter.
No, it's not. It's not bitter. Dark chocolate doesn't have to be bitter. It depends on the quality of the ingredients and what you do to make your chocolate. And the next bar I want to try is our Putnam Rye Whiskey, 77% dark chocolate. Now don't be scared, 77% sounds like a dark bar, but the flavors are supreme. All right, let's give it a taste.
This is incredible, and I'm tasting notes of cherry, but this is unlike anything I've ever tried before.
I love it too because I also taste candied orange. The additional orange in there really brings out, I think, also the oaky notes. And then we dried out all the alcohol with all the water, but the flavors are still here and they combine in different ways that you can actually really enjoy that and taste the nuances.
It's been really fun to see this up close and personal and try the chocolate, of course, just to understand how much goes into the process and the thought and the time.
It's a labor of love and we're happy to share it with you.
We're very happy to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Coming up next, we're traveling to Weybridge, Vermont to visit a 215-acre farm dedicated to the Morgan horse, Vermont's official state animal and iconic symbol of the Green Mountains, when New England Living returns. Welcome back to the show. It's time now to go around New England with your New England Chevy dealer. We're heading up north to Morgan Horse Farm in the small village of Weybridge, Vermont. The farm has been operating for over 140 years and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It's now home to 40 Morgan horses, all descendants of the same herd that was brought to the farm in 1878 in an effort to help save the breed from extinction. Today, the farm's mission is to carry on their rich tradition of breeding Morgan horses, Vermont's state animal, and to promote and educate the public about them. The farm is affiliated with the University of Vermont and is open to students and the public. There are a few different offerings for hands-on learning, including internships and year-long apprenticeships. The farm also serves as a resource for other community and educational opportunities. Tours take place hourly, starting at 10 a.m. and last about 30 minutes. Visitors are also welcome to stroll the farm and learn about the horses all season long, from May through October. Thanks for joining us today on New England Living. For more on the show or anything you've seen here today, visit us at newenglandliving.tv and follow us on social media. I'm Rachel Holt. See you next time on New England Living.